This week on Find the Fairway.
Based on what we know right now, it's going to be a long road back. But if anyone can do it, it's Tiger Woods. Now, whether he wants to or not, like I totally understand if he's like, hey, you know, my back's not there.
Actually, so I think I almost lost a little confidence in him being the next biggest thing, and here's why. Because I uncovered after a little bit of research that he has some terrible woes in putting.
Tyler, I want to do a bet with you.
Okay.
And Mike, you be the facilitator if this is fair. Who's gonna place better this week? Tommy Fleetwood or Ricky Fowler? Well, we would be remiss if we did not begin this show with the news on Tiger Woods earlier last week. Open fractures in his lower right leg after a gruesome one-car accident in Los Angeles. He had a follow-up procedure a couple of days later, fractures on the upper and lower parts of the fibula and the tibia, rods and screws put in everywhere. And of course, it makes everybody speculate, what is Tiger Woods' future in the game of golf? And guys, obviously, the first thing we want to say is, golf aside, we're happy Tiger Woods is alive. Because, Mike, I don't know about you, when I saw that video on Tuesday, the first thing that I thought was, is Tiger Woods alive? Really, I did.
Yeah, definitely agree. It was almost like flashbacks to Kobe Bryant. I was like, oh man, another legend. But yeah, number one, so thankful that he's okay and going to make a good recovery health-wise. What that means for golf and as it relates to Tiger Woods, like you said, not really important. But yeah, based on what we know right now, it's going to be a long road back. But if anyone can do it, it's Tiger Woods. Now, whether he wants to or not, like I totally understand if he's like, hey, you know, my back's not there, no sense pushing the envelope, focus on being a dad. I would not hold that against him, but I don't think that's in his DNA. I think he'll be back. I
had that thought too, but you're right. It's not in his DNA.
No, that's what this comes down to. I mean, you immediately got to take sports out of it. And I think what's brought us all so much closer to Tiger is when we saw him out playing with Charlie. And that's what this is all about now. I mean, it's hard not to speculate. I immediately speculated. I don't think I want to speculate here just because there's no point in doing that. But being a new father that I am now, have so much more appreciation for that. It took me a while, but yeah, I mean, that would have been a huge loss, even to me personally, if Tiger was gone. I mean, especially to everyone else in the game too. I mean, it's weird to think that he could have been gone.
And there's no right or wrong answer to this. If he wants to come back or not, nobody's going to say, oh, why did you do this or why didn't you do that? If Tiger Woods doesn't want to play golf again, he doesn't have to play golf again. And I don't think anybody in their right mind should question that. The first thing after I researched all this stuff with the screws and both parts of the lower leg, I thought, okay, what would happen to that right leg? And I immediately started to realize, Tyler, all the torque and the angle you put in that right leg, all the pressure. I know Tiger Woods has changed his swing a ton in the last 6 years because of his back, and you can tell. I'm curious, how is he going to physically do that? Maybe it gets better, but as of right now on its face, I don't know how that wouldn't be a serious issue.
It is. It's going to be a serious issue. I mean, we can't forget that him coming back from back surgery, to me, was a serious issue.
Right.
And then now to compound on top of that. But yeah, Chris, you're right. I mean, you got to load. So you got to put pressure on your front, or I guess your left leg.
You load up on the right leg.
Yeah, to come through, you got to push off that back foot. And it's not just like a propulsion, like you're taking a big step or a jump. You're twisting and torquing. Yeah, man, that's a lot of pressure, especially on something like, you know, that's got screws in it. And it sounds like it was busted into pieces. It wasn't just like a couple, just one big fracture. So, yeah, I don't know. I said it, so I can't go back on it. Honestly, I thought that the back was going to basically take him out of being competitive. Now this injury, I think it takes him out of golf. I mean, I'm going to be crushed. The mental image. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Crushed. I mean, you're going to be crushed if he doesn't play again. I can see why.
Well, the mental image that if I see him show up to a tournament with like a walker or like in a wheelchair, or that's not going to be easy to see.
Well, he might need that, Mike, in the next couple of months, but I would assume 2021 is out of the picture. Mike, you had mentioned it's not in his DNA. I could definitely see Tiger Woods coming back. Sad to say, I don't think he's going to be the player he was even this year, which is a step down from what he was in the past. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but I mean, if he does come back, right, he's already kind of the downslide of his career, at least in terms of age and what you would expect for Tiger to be able to accomplish. But if he wants, I would love to see him come back, have some top tens, redeem a little bit of form, maybe sneak in that one win he needs to get 83. But yeah, I we'll see what we get, right? I don't think he owes it to anyone, like I said. And I do want to say what a tremendous show of support by the PGA guys wearing the Tiger red on Sunday. That was odd, but extremely cool. A great way to show the support. It was just so weird seeing some of these guys in red, because I mean, I think Phil Mickelson on the Champions Tour had to go buy a t-shirt, polo, and it's like, yeah, red's not allowed those guys' color. It's kind of been off limits unless you're Patrick Reed, right? But very cool on their parts.
And you listen to Collin Morikawa, and he got a little bit emotional talking about Tiger Woods after he won the WGC Workday. And guys, I'll just eat the crow right now, because I said last week, to a certain extent, I wanted to see, ironically, what Collin Morikawa would do this week, because Tyler, I believe he was your best value, right?
That's right, man.
Okay. I wanted to see what he did. And here's the reason why. And I don't want to sound like I'm defending myself. I kind of am, but here's why I said let's wait and see on Collin Morikawa. So he won the PGA Championship, right? Since then, his best finish was 7th place at the Sony Open, and he was outside the top 20 in 8 of his 11 events, which is fine because, you know, he had won 3 times previously in his first 30 events. I was curious if he was going to continue to make that step as a top player, or Tyler, he could have been a guy like Jason Day, you know, who everybody thought was the next hottest thing, and now he's the 45th best player in the world right now. I just didn't know what to think of Collin Morikawa. He came out throughout the entire weekend and did exactly what you thought he would do, and he did what he did back in August in the PGA, and I'm eating crow because the guy was fantastic, and I expect him now again to continue to do what he did.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's 2020. It kind of makes me look genius, but that course is tough, man. Yeah. And you got to be able to hit the ball out of the fairway and place it exactly where you want it on those greens. I mean, they're lucky they had those greens running where they did. If they were any hotter on the stent meter, I mean, that there would have been some pretty high scores out there. But no, I think his swing is so repeatable. He's so good with the irons, and I'm just so impressed by his composure. Like you said, Chris, his end of the round interview, I don't know if you could give a better interview. I mean, he's humble.
He's mature. He's disciplined. I think
he's mature. Yeah, absolutely. But I think I think I almost lost a little confidence in him being the next biggest thing. And here's why. Because I uncovered after a little bit of research that he has some terrible woes in putting. Like, he has no confidence putting. So when he got the saw grip, he just did that a tournament ago.
Yeah, well,
and then now it started to work.
It seems like he could be very streaky with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you know what it's like when you go out and you try a new club, you try a new little tweak in your swing. Your first round out, you're like, oh my gosh, I fixed everything. Yeah. And then it starts to taper off. I mean, I got to see this play through to see how well his new putting grip lasts. But yeah, man, if he can putt decent, his iron game is so good that it makes up for everything else.
So Tyler and I have switched back and forth about who thinks Collin Morikawa is going to be great. Mike's got his cat. I forget, what's the cat's name again?
Here's Bella. She's on the Morikawa fan club.
What do you think, Bella?
Yep. And now she's getting off the fan club. But I'm with you, Christopher. I think Collin's ceiling is so high, the way he hits the golf ball with the irons. He doesn't chase distance. As long as he keeps working hard, doing what he's doing, Throw a joke in here as long as he doesn't get married, because we talked about that a few weeks ago, kind of being a curse. Yeah, I think sky's the limit. Ty, you mentioned streakiness with the putter. You know, outside of Tiger Woods and Jordan Spieth, I can't think of anyone who had a truly, you know, great dominant run due to their putting. You know, it's usually something else, and you know, their putting, they live and die by, right? Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Jason Day, Rory McIlroy. None of them are like tremendous putters, guys. You think about, you know, that ooze confidence with the flat stick in their hand. So I think we got a lot to see from Collin yet, and I expect another victory this year from him.
I was most impressed. He had 2 chances to falter and say, all right, I played great. I had a couple of good holes. Time to go back down. Saturday, he went on a serious birdie run, and then he plummeted. He could have just fallen apart. And then he kind of did that a little bit on Sunday when a couple of guys caught him. And then as soon as he got caught going to that back 9, he turned it on. He had a 3-stroke lead after about 15 more minutes. I thought that was telling a lot about his game, Tyler.
Oh, absolutely. That's unbelievable. I mean, I think we talked about last week or a couple weeks before, you know, people falling back off the lead and kind of giving it away. This wasn't a truly dominant victory on its surface, but if you look at the way he turned it on and had that killer instinct we've been talking about down the stretch, I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, don't take my lack of confidence. It's marginal, right? It's not very big.
I know what you're saying, because he could be like an Adam Scott. I get it.
Yeah. It's a marginal lack of confidence or loss of confidence. I mean, but something else to think about, what set Tiger Woods apart when he was in his prime and just dominating. Yes, he had the distance, and I think that's what allowed him to, you know, truly dominate, you know, win tournaments by 15 strokes. But really what it came down to is his iron play. And Morikawa is starting to reflect some of that. He's not missing by much. I mean, what was it on 12? He almost slam dunked one on the par 3 there, which was insane. And when he does miss, he misses to the correct side of the hole. And so he actually leaves himself really reasonable putts. The dude is a stick.
And Morikawa never was a underassuming player. He came right out on tour, 4 wins. He has a 10% winning percentage, guys. That's ridiculous. So that made me think. I looked at the leaderboard behind him, and I saw a lot of underassuming names who have become recurring names on the tour. So I want to do a little something fun this week. And Mike, I'll start with you. Who do you think is an underrated player on tour? Somebody who plays really well, maybe hasn't gotten a big win yet, doesn't get a lot of notoriety, and is just knocking on the door to be one of those big-time players. Underrated player. Give me 1, maybe give me 2.
I'll start with a name you threw out as one of your picks a few weeks back, Kevin Na. I'm going to leave Spieth out of this conversation, Ty. I'll let you maybe bring him in, or maybe you'll think Bryson is underrated. I don't know. But Kevin Na, I think a lot of people don't take him seriously, maybe because of the way he walks in his putts. Maybe, I don't know. There's probably a variety of reasons there. You know, no certain aspect of his game is flashy. But I mean, this guy's won at least, or he's won once each of the last 4 seasons, counting this season. And
because of his putter.
I think that's a tremendous. I can't think of many other guys who've won 4 years in a row out there, outside of the big names who are overrated in some cases. So Kevin Na, I'm going to start with him.
He definitely gets lost in translation. I'll give you that. That's a good pick, Tyler. Who do you got? You joked Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, no, I'm not going Jordan. I feel like I've ridden Jordan too hard, and if he ever comes on this podcast, I might as well not even show up that day.
Well, given his current world ranking, I could see him as underrated right now. But the way everyone talks about him, we can throw him out of the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mike, I think I do like your pick there. He's kind of an unsung hero, and I think the best thing about Na is he realizes exactly who he is. And he knows there's going to be tournaments that he's not going to be able to compete because of the distance. And he knows that there's tournaments where he can compete, and he wins at those tournaments, or at least he competes in those. So pretty good pick there. But I'm going to go with a previous dominant name that I'd like to see come back with a resurgence. To me, he scares me because he's going to be on the European side, and that is Justin Rose. That's my pick. I think the dude's got so much talent. He's got an Olympic medal under his belt, or I guess around his neck. I think he's going to find himself. And I mean, I don't know where he's at in the world rankings, but he's a ways back. So I think if he starts to find his stride, that's my guy.
The one thing I think about with Justin Rose, it just seems like he's past his prime.
Really?
To me, that's what I think it is. Because Justin Rose, if you weren't picking him at the Masters 3-5 years ago, you were a fool, because he was so good, so consistent. I feel like Justin Rose is one of those guys who got better. And then once he got right around maybe 2 or 3 years ago, he started tapering off. I kind of feel like he's a lot like Matt Kuchar, really. So to me, it's just like Justin Rose maybe hit his peak and now he's just going back down. That's just the way I see it.
Let me throw this out here. I think part of Justin Rose's decline, at least to me, happened a year and a half ago when he got dropped by TaylorMade and started chasing dollars instead of choosing the equipment right for him, and went with the Hanma clubs, which after a year of a huge contract, he parted ways from. So Ty, I could definitely see Justin Rose coming back. We could talk equipment and equipment free agents on another episode. I think that's like a really cool topic. But yeah, Justin Rose, now that he's playing the clubs he wants instead of playing, clubs that didn't necessarily work well for him, maybe a resurgence there. That's a strong pick.
He's proven he has the stuff to win and to be a dominant player. Here's my name, because guys, this year, when I heard the name Scotty Scheffler, okay, I had no idea who he was. I had to look him up. The guy is 25 years old, and we talk about getting lost in translation. All these young guns who we're talking about, Morikawa and Matthew Wolff and Victor Hovland, all of these guys who get all this recognition. Guys, Scotty Scheffler has been fantastic, okay? He's ranked 30th in the world. He missed 3 cuts on the COVID restart, okay? But after that, listen to what he's gone since then. 22nd, 15th, 4th at the PGA, 4th, 20th, 5th, and his last 3 events, 7, 20, and 5. Does that sound like a guy who's number 30 in the world to you?
No.
I think Scotty Scheffler is an absolute stud.
I knew you were going to say that.
In every single episode we've had of this.
You have.
Big time fan, has a 59 to his name. To me, I think as soon as he starts putting together a full tournament, look out. I mean, he's going to rack up some wins.
Tyler, you'll appreciate this. When I saw Scotty Scheffler, you hear his name, Scotty Scheffler, and you look at him on the course, you're thinking he's a random Joe who is a journeyman on the tour. I think you threw out the name like Jeff Sluman a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Just looking at the guy and hearing his name, you're thinking, okay, maybe that's the guy who's ranked 100th in the world and he'll make some cuts and maybe have a couple of top 10s. I think the guy's going to be legit.
So I saw the perfect comparison out there on the interwebs this weekend. I don't know if this will resonate with you guys, but this made me laugh so hard. Scotty Scheffler is that guy in your intramural basketball team who plays really good defense and then on offense hides out in the corner and he's good for like 4 3-pointers a game. Super consistent. Like that to me that is Scotty Scheffler all the way. He looks the part. I think his game speaks to it too. He's probably got a little bit more upside, but I'm with you, Chris. I mean, when I see him out there, especially this weekend, did you see the shirt he was wearing? I mean, it was like a triple XL on the poor dude. I mean, it was huge.
He's unassuming, and that's kind of why I like him so much.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great pick for this. And I don't know, Mike, I probably, he might rise to the top. I can see why you like him, but he doesn't sell it for me.
Yeah, time will tell with these guys, right? We're just kind of projecting here. Here's another one I'll throw out there. Yeah. And I think this one's also scary because it's another European. And, as things sit right now, I think the U.S. is in trouble at the Ryder Cup. But Paul Casey,
Yeah.
Doesn't have a lot of wins, but he's always at the top of the leaderboards, hanging around, consistent.
Year after year.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's a matter of time before he starts rattling off some wins. I think he's the kind of guy who gets one under his belt and it just starts turning and turning and turning. And next thing you know, he wins, 3 or 4 in a year. I just think that's the kind of player he is. But yeah, he's a golfer. We're in trouble at the Ryder Cup.
I pick Paul Casey basically every year in my majors golf bet because he's so good off the tee. His irons, you talk about Morikawa, Paul Casey is a fantastic iron player, and his putter might be the reason why he hasn't won more than he hasn't so far this year. On the tour this week, they're going to go to the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Bay Hill Country Club. Everyone loves that place because it's so unique. All the water they have to carry. This field is not going to be quite as good as it was last week. Only 9 of the top 20 players in the world are there. Of course, Tyrrell Hatton is the defending champion at the API. So, guys, my top dog in this one, I was actually going to pick Viktor Hovland as an underrated player because I really think, even though he's 13th in the world, he's really got a chance to be a superstar on the tour.
Oh,
Plus 1,200 on this event right now. He's made the cut both times he's played here, which means he can play at this course. His last 5 starts, guys, look at this. 1st, 31st, 2nd, 5th, and 6th. He's great tee to green. He's great off the tee. Viktor Hovland, we're talking about Ryder Cup players in the European Tour. Guys, it's another one.
I know, Chris. He was my pick too, man. I'm so impressed by the
He's
guy.
due, guys.
He is. He keeps knocking at the door.
Multiple.
No, he keeps knocking at the door. He's super impressive. And the crazy thing, I read an article in Golf Week, I think this week, that came out as a special on him. He essentially taught himself golf through the internet, which is wild because for a good portion of the year where he's from, it's dark for a majority of the day. So he's either working on the inside, just hitting balls, or he's got all these people that he follows, and he basically constructed his swing, and they called it kind of like Rector Center Legos, where he'd like add a piece, take piece away. So I think his swing is just rock solid. He's pretty well-rounded. He jokes that he has 0 short game. So I think he knows he needs to improve a little bit in his chipping.
If he does, watch out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. If he figures that out, I think he'll be competing pretty good. So yeah, he's my pick for this weekend too.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm a really big Viktor Hovland fan. I got to say, it was good to see that cowboy orange on Sunday. Haven't seen much of Ricky Fowler the last couple of years, so it's good to see someone back wearing it. But, we talked Ryder Cup and look out US, but I think we're okay because this week I'm riding Captain America.
I originally put him down. I did.
I think he's a pretty good golfer on this course. I think last year he had around at 80 and still finished +3 in the top 15. So if he keeps it together, I think he's probably going to win another one.
Captain America.
I thought about going with Captain America. How about a best value pick? Somebody middle of the pack who doesn't have great odds, but who could finish pretty well. And you guys, every week I say something controversial that you look at me and you say, what? Guys, I'm going to go with Tommy Fleetwood with a real good chance to be top 5, not to win, but to be top 5. He's plus 4,500 in this. And yes, I know he struggled in 2021. He has done pretty good on the European Tour. He has 2 top 10s, okay? Here is why I'm picking him. On the Florida swing, and you look this up, Tommy Fleetwood has been better than anybody else on tour when it comes to being under par. He hasn't won, obviously. He has been great. 4 top 5s in the Florida swing, okay? And his past results at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, 5th, 26th, and 10th. I don't think he's going to win. I think he has a chance to contend, though.
Well, that's not what we're here for, Chris. I mean, we're trying to pick a winner here, man. What are you doing?
Okay, who are you picking then?
So I'm actually sticking European too. I'm going to go after who we just talked about a little bit earlier. I'm going after Paul Casey.
Okay.
So I think we haven't seen him a ton. He was 5th at Pebble. I think he's solid. And I heard that once the wind starts to kick up a little bit down there at Bay Hill, then the Europeans, it tends to play in their hand. So I think he's my guy for this weekend for middle of the pack.
The 2 euros. Mike, you got a third, or who you going with?
I'm riding the USA train again here. But gosh, those Europeans do play good and win. Billy Horschel, I think we might see a little resurgence from him this year. Had a great round last week. So I'm going to ride that one till the wheels fall off, which could be after round 2 if he doesn't make the cut. But
hold on for a second. So Mike, I couldn't figure out how I wanted to bring up Billy Horschel here. I actually want you guys to talk about him. Like, how do you feel about him? I mean, I know you just picked him, so you feel strong, but I honestly feel like, of course I asked you, and then now I'm going to say how I feel. But I feel like he played as best as he could this weekend.
And remember what you said about Patrick Cantlay? He's reached a ceiling.
Yeah.
I think Billy Horschel is a poor man's version of Patrick Cantlay.
I'd say he's a rich man's version.
I don't know about
got more for the earnings. So if we want to go there,
dude, he's nails. Like his putting this weekend was awesome.
He won the Tour FedEx Cup 5 or 6 years ago. Would you not call that an anomaly? Because what's he done since then?
I don't know. That's why, to me, I don't know what to do with him. I mean, I think he's got some skills. Yeah, I guess. That's why I wanted to talk about him, because one, I guess I don't know enough about him. I mean, obviously I know what he's won, but man, like this weekend, I feel like he was making every clutch putt.
I mean, I like him. I just, what have we seen that he's a good player?
Mike, you picked him.
Well, for one, he's proven he can win in the past. For two, he's had a few bad years, but I liked what I saw last weekend. Maybe that's a sign he's back. The game's trending in the right direction, and it's about the right time to do that with the Florida swing kicking up. So I'm riding him to a high finish this weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
two things I like about him real quick. One, his temper is hilarious. He never stops talking, and he's always upset. And the other thing I like is he's I didn't realize this, but he's our age. To me, he looks like he's like 40 or something. I don't know. I feel like he's been around forever, but he's still a pretty young gun. So I don't know. I like him. I just don't know what to do with him.
Billy
Ty,
Horschel,
I like that you think you're still a young gun, Ty. We're climbing up there. You're about to be 35 here in a couple of weeks, so not such a young gun anymore.
I would also call Tyler a long shot. So speaking of the long shots, my long shot for this event, okay, you could call him a blast from the past, but I think he still has a chance to be a really good player. Emiliano Grillo. You guys know who he is. He's plus 7,000 in this event. Okay, Mike, you called the Puerto Rico Open the off Puerto Rico Open. That's what you said about Tony Finau.
The curse of the Puerto Rico Open.
Yeah, so he was 11th at the Puerto Rico Open, so he's been playing well lately. He's played well at the Arnold Palmer in the past. He has a 7th, a 17th. He is really good with the irons. He's 5th in greens in regulation, and he's 13th in shots gained off the tee. He's the kind of guy who I know can go low, because I've been following his career for a while. I've picked him a couple of times in other things. Emiliano Grillo, I think, is one of those guys that if he gets it together, he'll be a name that people will be talking about.
So, Ty, are you going to go with an American yet?
I am.
Okay,
all right, who is it?
So I'm. This is a long shot, but I think in tribute to one of his favorite people and his idols, I'm going to go with Ricky Fowler. Huge Ernie fan.
Okay. Tyler, I want to do a bet with you.
Okay.
And Mike, you be the facilitator, if this is fair. Who's going to place better this week? Tommy Fleetwood or Ricky Fowler? Will you take the bet?
Wait a minute. What are the odds there? I mean, you look at, not the odds are everything, but
Ricky's
66 to 1.
I'm trying to scam you.
Hey, look, I'm going to take it. I got full confidence. I think Tommy has completely gone to sleep here. Ricky is going to play with motivation. Ricky's going to, I got that bet.
Okay. So
that's who I picked.
Mike, here's my idea, and you tell me, you be the bet commissioner. So if Tommy Fleetwood beats Ricky Fowler this week, I will absolve Tyler from the bet on Bryson versus Jordan Spieth.
I think that's fair. Tyler's probably begging to get out of that one.
You begging to get out of that?
I'm still good with that one.
Okay.
Bryson
So-
might take it this weekend. He's only what? What are his odds?
He's only missed the last 2 cuts. Is that what you're saying?
Bryson is the man, dude. Bryson's on. Yeah, that's a good point.
Too far gone at this
12
point.
to 1 odds this weekend. Shoot.
All right.
You
So
know, I think I give Bryson a hard time, but I think he'll find his game and find his way into the winner's circle sooner or later. Not before Jordan Spieth, and probably not before Tiger Woods. But
Yeah.
you know, Ricky Fowler's another guy I give a lot of grief to. He seems to really be struggling out there the last year and a half, but that man is too talented, too good of a ball striker. Used to be a fantastic putter, but that's been slipping up. I think Ricky's bound to put it together sooner than later. So Ty, I would jump all over that bet right now. But for my long shot, I was really skimming down that list, and I'd go down, 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 Harold Varner, down, 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 Harold Varner, up, 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 Harold Varner. And I just finally stuck on Harold the third to get his way up into the winner's circle this weekend if Patrick Reed or Billy Horschel doesn't do it. I mean, this guy seems to always be up there on Thursdays and Fridays and falter, you know, down the stretch Saturday, Sunday. But that kind of experience, I think he's learning from it. And ultimately, this could be the weekend he can put together a complete tournament. So
He had a good week last week.
Mm-hmm. He's been randomly up there. So Tyler, you will take my bet. Tommy Fleetwood. I'll even give you the tiebreaker. How about that? If they shoot the same score, you win the bet. Deal?
Wait. Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
What if they both miss the cut? Are you going off
all
score?
Score?
We're
Mike.
going
It's
all score. Yep.
Just it's score.
So
Mike, how many guys
what
played
if
this past
Tommy
weekend?
Fleetwood misses the cut and Ricky Fowler makes it, and Tommy Fleetwood would then have a lower score?
No, it's the two rounds. If
Okay.
one guy misses the cut, it's the 2 rounds. So he lost. Yeah. So that's
So
our
basically,
bet.
It's probably just whoever makes it to the weekend is probably going to win.
Whoever makes it to the weekend,
watch these two guys
win-win.
end up in a playoff on Sunday. That'd be just fantastic viewing. I can't wait for our group chat to blow up.
Great theater.
Oh man! Before we go, guys, Mike, what's your song of the week?
Yeah.
What are you jamming to?
Lay Your Head on Me is Major Lazer featuring Marcus Mumford. Randomly, you know, Marcus Mumford plays in our house. It was one of our wedding songs, not this song, but another Marcus Mumford cover. But Rebecca put that on the other day, and I just started jamming, thinking, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be my song of the week this week. So we're gonna go with that.
Nice choice.
Tommy Fleet was going to ride the wave to victory listening to that song. I can just feel it, guys.
No, yeah, no way. Yeah, he's gonna finish about 5 over par, and he's going back across the pond, man. No chance.
All right, guys.
You know what? No matter who wins, the Arnold Palmer is always a really cool tournament. A lot of guys pay tribute to the late Arnold Palmer, so I'm really excited to tune in this weekend and see who pulls it out. So.
And of course, we'll talk about it next week on Find the Fairway, guys. Thanks as always.
Absolutely. See you, boys.
Have a great week, fellas.
But don't cover up your scars for me, and every single choice that you made.